Meeting to order. Zendaya, are we in compliance with the Freedom of Information Act?
Yes, sir, we are.
Will you call the roll, please?
Certainly. Mr. Ames?
Here.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Ms. Bryson?
Here.
Ms. Becker?
Here.
Mr. Alford?
Here.
Mr. Stanford?
Here.
Thank you.
I'm here too.
Oh, Mayor Perry, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
If you will join us, please say the pledge.
Would be done in decency and order. We pray even now for our officials elected and appointed. We ask that you would keep them and cover them. We pray, God, as we've dealt with the tragedies of the world, that you would continue to enlighten our hearts, that you would keep us in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you. It's in your most holy name that we pray, give thanks, and we say, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know. We've been doing the civility pledge for the past couple of weeks. It's been a little on the clunky side. So we've decided to do something a little different today. I'm going to read it aloud, but if you will follow along and read it for yourselves, that would be greatly appreciated. Personal pledge. We pledge to build a stronger and more prosperous community by advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of our city or town. Thank you. So today we have meetings before us for the minutes to approve. Regularly scheduled meeting February 21st, 2023, regular meeting March 7th, 2023, and regular meeting March 21st, 2023. Any motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Is there a second within one of those motions?
Second.
Will you call the roll, please?
Absolutely. Mr. Ames?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Ms. Bryson?
Yes.
Sorry.
Ms. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Alford?
Yes.
Mr. Stanford?
Yes.
Mayor Perry?
Yes.
Motion carries, sir.
Mr. Town Manager, Mr. Orlando, do you have any reports for us today? General reports.
I do. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council, members of the community. A couple things. One, some great news, and then other, just some clarity as we work to launch some new service. So first and foremost, I have here a letter, it's a vendor payment letter, that we received the $5 million from the state for our Gullah Geechee Historic Neighborhoods CDC. So our Community Development Corp has launched, as you know. You've placed some board members in place. I'm in the middle of doing a search, really just getting the resumes and some preliminary interviews out of the way and launched. And then we received this letter on March 24th that we received the $5 million. So a special thank you to Senator Davis, and a special thank you to all the others in South Carolina, up in Columbia, that made this a reality, and also to you. So great job. Also, call on Josh Gruber. Josh, is it you? We launched our resident parking permit, and when we launched our resident parking permit, our understanding was that the launch would be smooth.
Responsible for needing to address in terms of our communication to the public so that it is clearly and easily understandable what they need to do to get through the application process. There's also some things on the contractor's lap that they need to correct in terms of some accuracy with regards to the cost, the hours of operation, the contact information, some other things. So at this point in time, we're working with them directly. We may be taking down the portal temporarily while we work to fix these items, but we have a meeting set with them and staff tomorrow to review this. We will hopefully be able to relaunch it with all of those items addressed and with some better clarification of materials to help folks be able to understand what they need to do to successfully get to the point of registering their vehicles for the beach parking pass. So apologize for that, but please know that we are actively working on it. We will get it corrected, and then we will get that information pushed back out to the public as soon as we quickly can.
One question or point, sorry. As I understand it, those who had a valid pass as of
Yep.
the end of December are still good.
They are still valid. They are still
through
valid
May
till the end of
31.
May.
Great.
Yes.
So folks
We-
need not worry, they can still get there.
Correct. We knew we were going to need a transition period, and we always know that there's a little bit of growing pains. There just happen to be more growing pains than we think are appropriate in this particular instance.
Thank you.
Tammy.
Just to follow up to that, if this period of time that it'll take to recalibrate and get things set to move along smoothly is an extended period of time, more than a week, I don't know what that would be. I would like to just keep our eye on that May 31st date, and if necessary, put out the word that those passes are still good.
Absolutely, yes. If
for an
that
extended
in any
period
way
of time.
becomes something that's necessary, we've worked with the town manager to address those issues. We'll continue to do that, and we'll message the public accordingly. I can tell you, there's been several months of work that have gone into this, so it is a little bit disappointing to know that there were some issues that weren't caught up until this point in time. I am confident that we will be able to release a quality product that people will be able to easily use in the very short future.
Okay, just keeping an eye on that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Josh, how many passes did the contractor anticipate having to process at this time?
Ultimately, it's not the capability of the system, it is how you navigate through it. So we know from historical records that there's anywhere between 6,000 to 8,000 annual passes that are purchased at any given point in time. So the system has that capacity, but there was issues with regards to being able to upload the background documents that we require to prove residency. Something with an error message that the file size was not sufficient to accept the document. There was also then a question about being able to pay with a credit card. You could pay with a credit card, but only if you clicked on a button to get to a certain area. And so the capabilities there, it just was not rolled out in a really great manner. And so we want to hit the pause button from Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for in-person application and processing. And their phone number, if you have any questions or need support, is 843-715-3167.
Where's the location, Josh?
It is on Office Park Road.
32.
Next to you.
I'm sorry, I've misplaced it here. If you give me a second.
Isn't it Suite 1?
32 Office Park Road. Thank you.
Suite 108.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. That concludes my report.
Okay. General reports from town council. Any reports? Patsy?
If I might, I like to report on good things that happen in the community when I can. So a couple things. One is tonight, Hilton Head Symphony has Symphony Under the Stars at Low Country Celebration Park, beginning at 7:30. It's Broadway tunes. There will be a vocalist. The good news is it's not me singing, so just to let you know, come on down. And then the other news is that a good friend of mine, Luana Graves Sellers, produced a documentary called Harriet Tubman, From the Underground Railroad to a Spy. It was broadcast for the first time on Sunday night on South Carolina Educational TV on PBS, not to be confused with Georgia Public Broadcasting. So there's two of those stations you can find in the area, but it will be broadcast again, so stay tuned. It's a great documentary. Great kudos to Luana Graves Sellers for her work on that documentary. And the last thing I'll report is coming up on May 7, so you have a forewarning of this, is Pedal Hilton Head Island. A great event for those who bicycle. We have a lot of folks come in from different areas to participate as a fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club. And I'm proud to say that I will be biking at it again as a 20-mile ride leader. So if you don't want to follow me, go on a different ride. But heads up on that, it's a great event. And I see Mr. Babel smiling at me.
Okay. Any other general comments? Tammy?
I have two requests. One is has been some question as to the reasons for why we go into executive session and what executive session covers. And so I would like to request of our counsel, Mr. Coltrane, to give us a legal opinion so that we have something in writing when we're questioned about that, to be able to respond in appropriate ways. So that's one. And then we did not approve our agenda, but if we had, I was going to ask for an amendment to the agenda to consider the ordinance that was accepted by a unanimous vote on March 29th for Phase 3 of the LMO changes, one being the redefinition of single-family and for divisible dwelling units, be placed on the agenda today for consideration. That matter first came to Public Planning Commission a while back and was sent to the Planning Commission, who sent it to staff, who brought it back to Planning Commission where it was approved, and then now has been recommended to Town Council. And I'd like to see it be voted on without delay.
Okay, I would like to suggest that we move that to executive session so we can have a conversation about it with an executive session.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
agree to that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like a general report, if I may.
Sure. Hang on one second, Tamara, are you done?
I'm
Okay,
done,
thank you.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. So often, we hear in this town the big ideas that are making a difference for the future. But I would like to thank the town manager and staff for the level of care that they are showing and details of this community. I witnessed what I considered to be a dangerous situation on a beach mat anchor. And I sent the town manager and the beach facilities manager a note on Sunday afternoon, and it was fixed Monday morning. Another time I mentioned to the general manager that it was odd that the swings in the Shelter Cove Park were facing a condominium complex rather than perhaps facing into the park area. Those benches have been changed. That's the kind of care that's going to make a difference for each resident and each visitor that we have on this island. And thank you very much, Town Manager.
Obviously, oh, yeah, that's Mr. Brown.
During our strategic planning workshop, we all agreed that relocation or mitigation with St. James Baptist Church would be one of our priorities. And this is hot off the press because I just got a note that Senator Tom Davis, during the budgetary process, has secured $750,000 towards that effort. And as I do the math, I think there's about close to $200K in the bank already. So we're near $1 million with getting this done. But we also are well aware that it has been going on at least a generation, right? So I just ask that we respond to Senator Davis's good work by pulling together a meeting with the county so we can press forward. I understand that we're awaiting some documentation from the county at the moment, but that state money at least may not last as long as this process has lasted. So I just encourage us to move forward expeditiously on that, please, sir.
Awesome, good news, thank you. So obviously, we're a week away from the biggest events on Hilton Head with Heritage, and it's a good time to remind ourselves of roadway patience. We got a lot of people coming through the area, so just remember that there are a lot of people that don't know how to drive on our roads, so it's a good time to exercise just a little bit of patience. So, any other public comments from the council? General comments, okay. Mr. Brown, F&A, Finance Administrative.
Sure, F&A committee met today. We covered the minority, small, disadvantaged business enterprise utilization program that was passed on to full council for consideration, as well as the community block grant program with the 2023 annual request approval. That will also be coming the way of the full council. And we also will have before full council the affiliated agencies that have requested funding through our budgetary process this year. You will see that as we move further into approving the entire budget. I'll also add that this is our second year going into meeting with the affiliated agencies. We hope to get better and better with this process. Lots of good comments from our colleagues today. We will be taking a look at all of the memorandum of understandings that are currently in place with affiliated agencies, and those that don't have memorandums of understanding, we'll be taking a look at maybe moving into the opportunity of creating with those. So more to come on that, but it is moving, and we thank staff, as always, for having us well prepared as we move along.
Okay, thank you. Appearance by citizens. I'd like to remind each of our citizens that Section 2-5-70 of the town's code limits each person to 3 minutes when addressing town council. At the end of the 3 minutes, you are asked to conclude your comments. Please maintain a decorum suitable for the meeting and refrain from using any profane, abusive, or obscene language. If you have any materials you would like to give to town council, please give to the town clerk after you're finished speaking. Zendaya, do we have anybody signed up?
Yes, sir, we do. Mr. Daniel Anthony?
Good afternoon. Daniel Anthony with JPS. I didn't prepare a speech today. I didn't really plan on speaking. Multiple people asked me to say something. So first of all, let me say Friday's meeting with Alex and Mark, I thought that was wonderful, guys. And it gives a lot of information to the public and lets them know what your thoughts are and where you guys are headed. And I would encourage all members to do it, you know, maybe not on the same day, because I like to be there too, even if you're not my ward. Then also, I have a proposal here, just a thought, that perhaps could we in the future change the way that the agenda is? And what I mean by that is that you have the appearance by citizens before you have new business. And it doesn't give us a chance to hear what you're thinking about on those new business items until after we've spoken. So it would be helpful for us if we knew what your thoughts were prior to us making comments. That's one thing. The other thing, the phase 3. I know you guys all got my email. This is really, really important to the residents, and to say that you're going to take it to executive session, I don't agree with it. I don't know why. I don't know why we can't talk about it now. And my other question would be, when we come up to the STR and you start talking about short-term rentals, is this going to be another thing that has to go to executive session? Because the residents don't get to hear what you have to say. You can go back there and talk for an hour, or we can sit here and wait for you. You come out and say, well, we have no comment. So to us, it's like nothing happened, you know? You see our frustration? So hopefully you guys can take that into consideration and maybe move these things a little bit different. I would suggest that since the phase 4 of the LMO changes is so broad, that we consider pushing the short-term rental issues to the forefront of that. The FAR, the parking, the noise, trash, so on and so forth. I would just suggest that you guys really consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Zendaya, anybody else signed up to speak?
Yes, sir. Elizabeth Dunn? Elizabeth Dunn?
Good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Dunn, and I reside at the spa on Beach City Road. No pets allowed. That's what the spa says. 5 years ago, my husband and I bought a little piece of paradise where we could relax and enjoy the wonderfulness of retirement. At the time, there were a small number of feral cats in the area, and we would occasionally see them on the property. It has now become an oversized litter box. The amount of cats has drastically increased. Walking out of the condo, we are greeted by cats on the front deck. We have the task of cleaning up cat feces and cat vomit from the deck and the steps. Be careful where you walk, for you may step in cat feces. Leave your shoes at the door so you do not walk it through the condo. There are health concerns regarding the cats. Cats are known to carry many diseases, and although the sanctuary may vaccinate for rabies, there is a host of other diseases that they can carry. Most feline diseases are in cats' feces and urines, so as they relieve themselves everywhere within our property, they may spread these diseases to humans who walk on the grass and sand. Cats are roaming freely and are in no way contained within the sanctuary. There is cat feces where they roam. I have opened my windows on my back deck only to be overwhelmed by the strong smell of cat urine. Cats are laying on and under the cars. The cars have scratches all over them from the cats. I am unable to have my granddaughter visit me. This one's really hurts because she did come to visit me. And there are so many cats on this property that her mother had to take her home within 2 hours. I should be able to have my granddaughter. In 2021, it was determined that the cats were not supposed to be housed or fed on the property to the east side of the spa. But now there's a cat colony with 13 no trespassing signs that are nailed to the trees. Looks lovely. Amazing. Humans keep off the cat property, but cats may trespass and invade my property. There are 268 condos at the spa owned by tax-paying humans that are having their property devalued with the out-of-control cat situation. A cat sanctuary should not be in a residential area, and if it is, it should be a limited number and not interfere with the personal property and health of the surrounding residents. I understand the mission of All About Cats, and it's a noble one, but a sanctuary is not part of their mission. Their mission is a TNR program. TNR programs are said to be the most effective way of downsizing an out-of-cat control problem. It should be noted that cat sanctuaries result in overcrowding, subjecting the cats to stress, sick, and spread their disease. I'm done.
Ms. Dunn, if you would do us a favor and provide the town clerk with your phone number, and somebody will be in touch with you.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. Zendaya, anybody else signed up?
Lynn Greeley. Miss Greeley?
Yes, I am, I'm speaking for Len Greeley. I have a POA legal doc. I'm happy to hand you with the lawyers.
It does not come to us, it goes to the lawyers. And as stated previously before,
Now, this is a POA, this is brand new. This is, Miss Greeley's not here.
this needs to go to our attorney, not to us.
I'm sorry?
That needs to go to the attorney, not to us.
I can't hear you.
That needs to go to the attorney, not to us.
Well, just go ahead and pass it to me. You don't mind. Thank you.
But understand our stance.
I'm sorry?
Understand our stance on the position of a power of attorney being utilized to speak for somebody else at town council meetings.
Yeah, well, if you want to give me another citation, go ahead, but I'm going to read her speech, and I'm going to stand up and read mine, so thank you very much. Appreciate that respect. So let me know when I can be in. Okay? Okay, so Skip Hoagland, Windmill Harbor. The purpose of a town finance and administrative committee is review and analyze the town budgets and financial statements, including balance sheet management, vendor contracts, accommodation tax funds, and hiring the designated marketing organization currently an illegally operated chamber. Who should chair and serve on a finance committee? It should have someone with financial expertise who can evaluate the overall health of the town, best as a CPA that has a skill set to serve that role. We have no skill set serving on this finance committee. What is a fiduciary responsibility? This is a term of this for this committee's legal responsibility for the town's finances. It means that this board is expected to know what's going on with the town employees, the town manager, all lawyers, and CPA to fully confirm town budgets. Audits have been done. No CPA or committee member has the audit knowledge who serves on this town finance committee or this council. The committee must hire an outside independent audit expert to review the books prepared by the town employees. Reagan Principle, Trust But Verified. Folks, all the flags have been raised. Town manager already caught illegally using town employees and tax funds when he served in Bluffton. Town lawyers have overcharged legal fees. Packet covered that. They drafted a fraudulent DMO chamber contract. Lawyer Gruber found guilty of 3 ethics violations, still employed. CPA is hiding legal fees and not showing all the numbers of millions issued and used by our chamber. Folks, we are in a real financial transparency, accountability, and performance metrics crisis. Y'all must step up, you must do your job, and you must look at my facts. You might not like how I present my facts, you might not like me personally, but this is not about me. Don't shoot the messenger, just listen to my facts and do what's right. Taxpayers are counting on you. You don't have to like me. Thank you.
Zendaya, who's next to speak?
Pamela Evans. Miss Evans?
I'm Pamela Martin Evans, and I'm here today to comment on the food truck that has appeared on William Hilton Parkway near the Zion Chapel of East Cemetery. I do not think the truck should have had town approval because the truck looks like a billboard on wheels. Billboards are not allowed on Hilton Head Island, and they were phased out in Beaufort County. My dear friend Tim Dowdy, at the request of Charles Fraser, traveled to Washington, D.C. to make that happen. Tim stood firm even when his life was threatened by an industry controlled by the mafia. The arrangement with the county was that the existing billboards would remain up only until they reached a point of disrepair, especially the creosote support posts. All of a sudden, steel I-beams mysteriously appeared to replace their wooden predecessors in the dead of night, giving them another 500 years on the planet. Then again, in 2008, the industry began cutting deals with the county, threatening lawsuits until Tim Dowdy took the stage again to fight back. He has gone to the great beyond, but his spirit lives on. We also have a growing trend of permanently parking small vehicles in parking lots that face Highway 278. They function like little billboards. There is one advertising electric bikes at Whole Foods Market parking lot. I am a firm believer that property owners have a right to make money on their property if it meets town requirements. I have a suggestion for the property that would create an actual cash flow for the owner and an answer for a problem for the town of Hilton Head Island. What if the town partnered with the owner of the property and built some type of affordable housing on the site? It is a beautiful piece of property, and we really desperately need affordable housing. Couple that with the fact that there could be higher than usual density because there are not a lot of trees on the property. You could plant a high shrub border on the side near the highway. It would allow teachers, firefighters, restaurant, retail, landscape, sheriffs, construction workers, and more to live and work on the island. We would have to verify that they worked here before allowing them to rent. But this could be a profitable and attractive business for the island and for the property owner. Please think this through. It's really the image, is this really the image we want people to see when they arrive for vacation on our beautiful island? I think not. The food truck should be moved, and the porta potty isn't pretty either. I published and co-wrote a book called My Life with Charles Fraser so that everyone could understand why they moved here. I brought you each a copy. Thank you for your consideration. I have time to just go. That's the food truck that I took a picture of today. It's like a billboard.
Thank you. Zendaya, next.
Mr. Keith Sledge. Mr. Sledge. Okay,
Okay, next.
all right. Skip Hoagland. Mr. Hoagland.
I just took this council's civility pledge. Will this council also take a taxpayer's campaign promise and law pledge? As follows. As an elected official or hired official, I agree to abide by my campaign promises to uphold and follow the lavish spending. Yes? Lawyers Coltrane, Alford, and Gruber caught overcharging legal fees and drafting fraudulent agreements for Bill Miles and the Chamber to hide accounting in the millions. Yes? CPA John Troyer and manager Mark Orlando produced fraudulent town budgets and audits. They bury the legal fees and only show numbers they want us to see. This entire council has no clue, and they all refuse independent forensic audits. No one on this council has audit or accounting knowledge. The town employees run the show with the Chamber and the secret Greater Island Council. Yes? Chamber CPAs, accountants, Ray Warco, Webster Rogers, Ray Deal, the Chamber Controller, they produce fraudulent audits and laundered Chamber money in the millions to hide illegal operations and use. Yes? Lawyer Danny Crow with the Municipal Association of South Carolina lawyer. He lied and was paid $2,000 in tax legal fees by Gruber to say town did not have to comply to my Chamber A-tax for you. Yes? Lawyer Gruber found guilty of 3 ethics violations, and he's still employed. Yes? Mark Orlando caught illegally using tax money when he was employed in Bluffton. Yes? It's time for a forensic audit. We are in a real corruption, tax theft crisis. We have 0 transparency, 0 accountability, and 0 performance metrics. You folks must pay attention, and you must do what's right, or you're going to be humiliated to the island, your friends, and your family. It cannot go on like this. You've got to step up, whether you like it or not. And again, I'm not here for a popularity contest. I'm here to give you facts.
Cindy, is there anybody else signed up to speak?
No, sir, that concludes the parent press
All right,
citizens.
thank you.
Just in response to some of the public comments, one, the opportunity for the public to speak on agenda items, all of our business items, we allow the opportunity for the public to
Right.
address this, correct? Okay, we just wanted to clarify that. And could we at some point get staff to give us a briefing on the cat situation? I know there was some decisions made in the past before this council was in place, so that we've got a better understanding of it. Yeah.
We can ask for that at another time. Yes.
Oh, good. And the last thing, full disclosure, when we start to have comments about the particular food truck that is on 278, full disclosure, that is not town-owned property. That is yours truly's property.
Oh, okay.
Yes, absolutely. And as I appreciate your suggestions as how I should produce revenue on my property, I still believe that we are within code, number one, and secondly, in America, have the right to perform on our property as long as we are meeting municipal codes. Just want to make that comment, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
That's a song.
Thank you.
Mayor, may I also just, because I've gotten several phone calls and comments throughout town on that particular subject, and not necessarily have I heard the comment with regard to billboard, but I have heard a safety concern. And as a safety concern, that's what I want to comment, that we are hearing that folks are getting into near accidents as people are seeing the truck and wanting to take advantage and turning off rather quickly, and those behind them not having enough advance to notice. And there are people who are concerned about their safety and the people who are surrounding them, just as a follow-up to that point.
Okay. Thank you. So on to new business. Missy Luke, Assistant Community Development Director, is present to provide a brief presentation of a resolution extending the memorandum of understanding between the town of Hilton Head Island and the historic Mitchellville Freedom Park. Ms. Luke.
Missy Lewick, Assistant Community Development Director. I don't have a presentation. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a presentation today, but I do have a brief overview of, it sounds funny, a brief overview of the Memorandum of Understanding that's before you in the packet. It is a renewal of the MOU between the town and Hilton Head Island. Between the town and historic Mitchellville Freedom Park, and it extends the MOU from a period prior to, which was a 2-year memorandum of understanding, to a 10-year term. And also, it identifies that the improvements to be made to Mitchellville Freedom Park and capital improvement projects included in the agreement are not exclusive of other projects that could yet to be identified. And also, there was a change added to the MOU that includes a $1 million insurance liability policy, and that currently is the level of insurance liability that Mitchellville keeps. So this resolution went to the Community Services and Public Safety Committee, and it's before you today for your consideration. Are there any questions?
Let me get through this first. It's consideration of a resolution. It does sound funny. It's feedback. Consideration of a resolution expanding the memorandum of understanding between the town of Hilton Head Island and the Mitchellville Freedom Park. The Community Service and Public Safety Committee voted unanimously to recommend approval of this resolution. Is there a motion to approve this matter?
I move that the council approve a resolution extending the memorandum of understanding between the town of Hilton Head Island and the historic Mitchellville Freedom Park.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion by council members? Okay. Any discussion from our guests? from our citizens.
I'd just like to make a quick comment, and I don't know all about this project, but I want to warn you, like the funding in Sea-Pines for the dredging of Harbortown, which you've been sued for, $600,000, which is an illegal use of our taxpayers' money. Whatever you do with any private company or any nonprofit, the tax monies have to be assured by you that they're being used for the public good, reason, and benefit. You cannot use public monies for private purpose. You cannot use public monies for profit, like the Chamber of Commerce being funded, and you cannot use for the dredging of Harbortown. That's an HOA issue. So we're going to need to see much more details on this park and many other things that y'all fund, and you got to stop funding all these nonprofits illegally as well. There's much more to come on all this, but you're going to be sued much more if you don't stop. Thank you.
Any other comments from the citizens? Seeing none, we'll bring it back. Cindy, we'll call the roll, please.
Certainly. Mr. Ames?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Support.
Ms. Bryson?
Yes.
Ms. Becker?
I do see the public good and benefit in supporting this project, and so yes.
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 Okay. Mr. Alfred?
Yes.
Mr. Stanford?
Yes.
Mayor Perry?
Yes.
Motion carries, sir.
Okay. Consideration of a resolution adopting the local comprehensive beach management plan for the town of Hilton Head Island pursuant to the requirements of the South Carolina Beach Management Act. Sean Cullen, Assistant Town Manager of Community Development, is here to answer any questions that we may have.
Yes, sir. Sean Cullen, Assistant Town Manager. This came before Town Council in January. It was referred back to the Public Planning Committee for some additional review. There were 4 comments that were part of that review, and they've been incorporated into the plan. The Public Planning Committee recommended this be brought forward to Town Council for approval. I can go through the revisions if you'd like, but we're ready to bring this thing forward in compliance with the Beachfront Management Act.
Okay. The Public Planning Committee voted unanimously to recommend approval of this resolution. Is there a matter to approve this?
Yeah, I move the council approve the resolution adopting the local comprehensive beach management plan for the town of Hilton Head Island pursuant to the requirements of the South Carolina Beachfront Management Act. Second.
Okay. Any discussion by council members? Any discussion by our guests?
I'm not so sure where all the funding's coming from for the beach renourishment and any other projects, infrastructure projects. I know Tamara brought up the handicap access, I think, which is important to a lot of people. We have a lot of older people on Hilton Head Island. And my suggestion is that I think that this falls under the ATAX tourism local benefits. And I would highly suggest that we look at the handicap, make it very nice entrance for everybody, fix up things, fix up the bike paths tying into it, and I think we should use that tax money for these kinds of projects. What we need to do, and I hate to keep on harping, I know you've been hearing this from me for 20 years, defund the chamber. It's not necessary. It's a waste of money. Let's take these millions of dollars we're giving Bill Miles for his high lifestyle and his lavish living, and let's get this money and put it to good use and fix our infrastructure, make a real nice handicap access to the beaches and everything else. And I hope that y'all listen to that and act on that and stop the corruption, stop the politics, get down and do what's right. Okay? Thanks.
Any other comments from the citizens? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the dais. Today, will you call the roll, please?
Certainly. Mr. Ames?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Support.
Ms. Bryson?
Yes.
Ms. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Alfred?
Yes.
Mr. Stanford?
Yes.
Mayor Perry?
Yes.
Motion carries, sir.
Mr. Orlando, I understand there is a need to enter into executive session.
Yes, I will take a quick explanation, though. There's a controller that we need to be fixed for these microphones that arrives on the 11th. So it's hit or miss, as you can see tonight. So I appreciate our IT team working on that diligently. 3 things in exec session, I believe. 2 as stated, and 1, Mayor and Council, with your approval. First, discussion and negotiations regarding proposed contractual arrangements and discussions for sale, purchase of property in the Palmetto Bay Road area pursuant to FOIA Act 34782. Also, receipt of legal advice from our town attorney pursuant to FOIA Act 34782 regarding Wimbledon Court area. And then as requested tonight, and perhaps Curtis can help me with some agenda language, receipt of legal advice from town attorney on matters related to the land management ordinance review procedures subject to FOIA 34782. Curtis, did I get that right?
Perfect.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Point of order. Do we have to vote to amend the agenda to add that additional item? Yes, thank you.
Then I move that council entertain amending the agenda for the purposes just cited regarding
Second.
the LMO.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
I also move that council go into executive session for the purposes cited by the town manager. Second.
Second. All those in favor, raise your right hand again. All right, we're going to executive session. favor, raise your right hand. So moved.
Let's make sure Zendaya is ready, everyone.
I'm ready.
Okay.
You ready?
She is very good at it.
David? Any action?
No action was taken at the executive session that I can recall.